Welcome back to my office, and in today's video I would like to give you just a couple updates on my progression of getting a better design for my ping pot. I think in the last video I've designed it, I printed out like a prototype. It's actually turning out pretty well. Let me actually grab it real quick right here to show you what the latest prototype is. So here's the ping prototype that I have. This is full scale. And there's a couple design updates that I wanted to do. When I first looked at this, I know with carnivorous plants and I look at the rest of my pings, you always want to identify what your ping is. So I know vast majority of people, including myself, like to write like a little tag, put like the name of the ping so you remember what the name was. And in this design, I don't have like a good area of where I can put like some kind of tag or like write it down. So in my updates, I created just another slot where you can put the plant tag, because I thought, you know, it'd be really good to kind of have that. The second update that I wanted to do was on the inside of the pot where I have the hexagon part of like the circle. What I've noticed that it doesn't have like enough on the inside of the pot. It doesn't have enough like surface to like kind of like grab on the floor of the ping pot. I think it's easy to, I guess, break it off. I guess that's what I said. So I wanted to create a little bit more surface area on the ground, so it'll be hard to kind of like take off. That's the update that I wanted to do. So first, let me just kind of bring up, I'm going to open up here in Fusion one of the updates that I was working on. I'm not going to go through the whole design process just because it just kind of takes a little while here. So this ping pot that I've created, what I've done was put in like a slot in the middle. Let me just kind of rotate this to the top so you can see what I'm referring to. There's basically a 1 millimeter hole in the middle. I've kind of extended this wall out and then put a little 1 millimeter hole so I can slide like the plant tag down. What I've done yesterday was this. I actually printed it out. So I printed out a prototype of what I think that this, how the slits would work for the ping pot. And now what I have here, does this design work? I have this plant tag from my Gabriella plant that I just bought, and I noticed that, you know, it's a thicker tag. So when I put this down in here, slides in nice and great. Obviously, when you put it on the flat side down, it doesn't move left and right. But if you put this plant tag down, which most plant tags, they're at an angle, so when you put it in the pot, it'll just kind of, you know, slide on in. Might have to just kind of like lean it over. And then for the vast majority of my other tags, I have these smaller tags. It'll kind of like do the same. I'll kind of like lean over. I don't like it as much. I still have to kind of think how I want to do this. Could I make some like slits on the inside where it's like, you know, split in the middle, so it's like 2 holes in here, so it won't, you know, slide or move? Or do I put it into thirds? I'm not if thirds is like big enough. I think half is probably big. But I could do that for like one of the sides. I can put it like just in half. So for example, if I was to put 2 plant tags in there, they would at least kind of like stand up. I would think in this case, if you have 2 plant tags in there, kind of overlap it a little bit. If you overlap the plant tags, kind of like the pressure of them together kind of will hold it up. So that's an option too. But I'm going to kind of like leave it like this for now. And then I made 3 of them, three slots, because I figured if I print out more, and if they're going to be in the hexagon shape, you know, kind of like butted next to each other, or should I say butted next to each other, right? It makes like a little honeycomb. You got to put the plant tags in like a specific order, so it gives some variability of how you want to put the plant tag in there. So that's one update that I've done. What I've done was I've incorporated it into just an updated design of the ping pot. Kind of like ping pot version 2. It has 2 design updates. Let me just go back to the top right here. I've incorporated the slots, just like I've just previously shown you. All these kind of like little rounded edges are the fillets, just to make it a little bit smooth. And then the circle right here does not extend out past where I put the plant tags, because if you put the plant tags down and if the circle is too big, then you're gonna get some overlap and that's not gonna be good. And then the last design update is right in the middle, right here. So let me just kind of turn on the inspector. We can do some section analysis here. I'm gonna cut it. I've made the base, like the bottom of this funnel, a little bit thicker. So then it'll have more surface area to kind of grab onto the floor. And that's where you can kind of see it here. And then I don't have a lot of hexagons kind of like higher or lower. I just did one hexagon shape around at the bottom because I just need some bottom holes for the water to go in and then wick up to the sphagnum moss. So I believe that that's going to be good enough, because the last prototype that I've done, and I'll show you here, it had about like 2 little layers, 2 rows of hexagons, which made it nice and thin and maybe a little bit unstable. So my hope is that making this a little bit thicker, that it'll create some stability for this ping pot. And then you can kind of see with this section analysis that there is a slot there for like the plant tag. It goes all the way to the bottom. So those are the 2 design updates that I've done with my ping pot. Now, after printing out this last kind of prototype here with this orange filament that they provided me, this is the PAL filament, now I'm out. I went all the, well, I'm not like out, but I'm pretty much done with this filament. I have another spool of filament that I'm going to use, hopefully to just kind of print out the ping pot, the ping pot design 2. But it's a new type of filament. It's PETG. It's a slightly different plastic, kind of like what plastic bottles are made out of. So I have to print out maybe a couple prototypes first. I'm going to try to print out a little small 20mm box with the new filament, just to make sure that the settings are okay, and it prints out just the way I want it to before I print out, because I really don't want to just kind of print the big pot, because this prototype right here, when I switch over to the slicer, I'll just show you. How about that? I'm just going to show you. So here from the slicer, for this original ping pot right here, let me just bring up the slicer. For this original ping pot, 6 hours 45 minutes. With these 2 design updates, let me show you. So with these 2 design updates, PETG, I'm gonna leave the settings here. Temperature, yep. Okay. When it creates the slicing model, so from 6 hours 45 minutes, now it's 10 hours 4 minutes. So it increased 3 hours, almost 3 hours 20 minutes. And then the estimated material is 28.5 meters. I've already created this G code already, and I haven't transferred it just yet. But I just wanted to show you that with the 2 design updates, because it does add more material to my pot, right? The time goes up. So we'll see how this works out. I'm excited to see this. Let's see how it turns out. So now I'm gonna just kind of transition over to printing out, and this is the end of this video, because I just wanted to show you the 2 design updates I have for my upcoming ping pot. Thanks for watching, I appreciate it. If you like the content that I have, showing you all these little creative ideas I'm doing right here in my office, I would love if you guys can just take a moment to subscribe to my channel. It'll definitely help me out and continually grow my channel. Alright, see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.